Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So today we are in a Beyond the Blocks webinar. I'm going to speak about how blockchain can be used in a business or else can improve a business. So here I'll be speaking about the actual blockchain use cases in a business. So let me begin with by introducing myself. So myself, my name is Purushottam. You can call me Puru. I'm a consulting manager at Blockchain Solution Group at EMURGO, Japan. So before working for EMURGO, I worked in Sony Mobile as a business analyst. Then I also worked in L&T Technology Services, which is one of the biggest conglomerate company in India. And I have worked in different domains like healthcare, aerospace. Also, I have co-founded information IT company in India. So you can, if you want to connect, you can always connect me through LinkedIn, and you can also scan this QR code. Yeah, I'll give you some time to scan this QR code and then contact me in a LinkedIn as well. Okay. So basically what do we do in EMURGO is we help companies or as SMEs to get into the ideation, to do POC, and then we'll also advise them how to integrate the blockchain. So this will take a longer process, like I'm advising, prototyping, developing, and then industry specific solutions through using the use cases, as well as we'll help them in all the steps to integrate the blockchain into their businesses. So I want to speak a little about EMURGO. What do we do at EMURGO? So EMURGO provides the system development. But I mean, we have a bigger R&D unit where do we develop the solutions for SMEs or any corporation. And then we also have the education and academic services. It's located in India. We provide blockchain education on blockchain for the students or as for any employees, those who want to learn about blockchain. Then we also have the acceleration investment. So we have invested in a couple of startups. It's blockchain related and then supply chain related startups. We are also looking for many other startups who want to work with us. So next is the advisory services. That is where now it is called as a blockchain solution group. This is where we advise companies in integrating blockchain into their businesses. So let's begin about what is blockchain. Blockchain is a technology behind Bitcoin. What's actually blockchain is it's a distributed database, and it's not centralized as well. So anybody can have this program running in their system, and then it will record all the transaction happening within this blockchain. It's a peer-to-peer based communication. It's also very transparent. It's when the blockchain came, it's supposed to be transparent because it's a public. Anybody can just install the application and then run the node in their system. Whatever the transaction happen, it will be immutable. Like nobody can edit or update this transaction. So and then every node or the data which is inserted into this blockchain will be cryptographically linked in a block. So we'll see how this really the blockchain really works in the next session. Here these are the components of blockchain. First component is the ledger. This is where all the transactions are kept, and then it will be cryptographically hashed also. Then next is the consensus mechanism. This is where all the transaction will have the consensus, like whether that person has the sufficient amount to do the transaction, or else whether the amount that the wallet belongs to the person. Everything will be done in a consensus mechanism. Then the wallet is where the cryptocurrency will be kept. we need, I mean, all the people need wallet to do the transaction. Then next is the digital asset. The digital asset is nothing but cryptocurrency or token, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. These are the coins, and then many other tokens which are reeling in this blockchain. Then next is the network participants. Network participants are those who run the node in the system. So this node will also have the ledger, like, I mean, the blocks in the stored in these nodes. Yeah. Next, we'll see how the blockchain really works. Just imagine that the person A want to do the send a transaction to person B. The person A will have the wallet. This wallet will have the private key and then public key. He will use this private key and public key to send the transaction. Once this when he approaches the blockchain to send the transaction, the node will check the amount which he has in a wallet, as well as it will also go through the previous records of his transactions, and then see it will, after checking this, it will broadcast the transaction data to the network. So in the transaction, it's in the orchestration. It will also check. Every node will also check, and then they will do the consensus. And then when the consensus will be 51%, then the transaction will be approved, and then it will do the proof of work. Proof of work is where it will try to it will generate the transaction hash. Then in a certain way where the known will be kept for the transaction. Then the new transaction will be updated into the block, and the new block will be created. Once this block has been created, the block creator will be rewarded for the transaction. So because, I mean, he or she has done the proof of work, his machine has done the proof of work. So that's why he will get a reward. So it might be a cryptocurrency. So next is the transaction. Once the transaction is completed, then the person B will receive the cryptocurrency. So next we'll see generations of blockchain. So first generation is the Bitcoin. This is where the proof of work consensus mechanism is, and then it's a trustless digital transaction. Next is the second generation, which is the Ethereum. With all the options which Bitcoin is giving, it also implemented the one more option of smart contract, which is nothing but writing a program inside a blockchain. So next, third generation is the Cardano blockchain, and then many other blockchains. So this is where the new consensus mechanism has been introduced, called proof of stake. So this proof of stake is nothing but those who have the stake of the coin, then they can only do the consensus, or else that they can only create the block for the transactions. So it is also a trustless digital transaction, and then it also provides a smart contract. Other than this, one more important thing is it's a scalable, sustainable, and then interoperable. What it means is then the third generation blockchains will be much more faster than the first and second generation blockchain, and then this also require very less space in a ledger. I'm really proud of this. Like EMURGO is one of the founding member of Cardano blockchain. So we also trying to be blockchain agnostics, and then because, I mean, we also believe there will be many other solutions can be built on top of the blockchains. So next we'll go through what is smart contract. So smart contract is nothing but a program which runs in a blockchain. It's a pre-written program stored in a blockchain. Every smart contract stored in a blockchain will have the hash by which we can do that. We can do the transaction by using this smart contract, and we can also check the pre-written code in this smart contract. So most of the smart contract are, will be can be executed automatically based on the program it is written, or is the contracts, or is as I said, the pre-programmed is nothing but a set of statements which has to be proven to do this transaction. And then this smart contract can be used to do to create fungible token and the non-fungible token as well. So next we'll see where blockchain can be useful. So in current scenario, there are many companies who are having the silo of data. So this is where blockchain can be used to share the data between others, and then it creates the it also removes the third party in between the companies, or is in between any person. So it removes the intermediate or as brokers to create digital asset, and also whatever the data is stored, it will be audit trail. And then trustless, it will be used for trustless transaction, and then high performance, and then rapid transaction. Like when you can send a cryptocurrency or as a token within seconds or within a minute. So it doesn't require any third party to validate your transaction as well. So and then we can also automate the transaction by using the smart contract. So that is where the blockchain can be useful. So next, this is a decision tree. Whether when any company or as anybody approaches us, we'll go through all this decision tree, and then we'll also check many other scenarios. But these are the major things we try to have a discussion with them. So first question will be, do they have any multiple parties involved in their business? Then next is difference. Do they have any difference in rules in governing the party, or do they have any difference among the party when they come to the business? Then next is do they have any conflict of interest or as mistrust between each other? In many scenarios, what happens when any business have a tie-up with any other companies, they have different terms for themselves, and then they have a different set of rules or as the formulas to calculate the money transaction as well. So it's not transparent enough, and then it also creates many misunderstanding among the companies. So that is where we can establish, we can introduce the blockchain to come to the we can create a standard for their calculation as well. So next is the if any companies share common database, then blockchain can be very easily implemented there. Then unchangeable log, like this is where the audit trail is used, where whatever the data has been inserted, it should not be editable, and then it should not be deletable as well. So next comes whether we need the public blockchain or the private blockchain. So does this transaction, whatever the transaction or whatever happens in a blockchain, should be visible for the public? So then we'll use a public blockchain, or else if we need the privacy for the companies, among the companies, then we can use a consortium or private blockchain. So yeah, these are about the decision tree. Next, we'll talk about blockchain in fintech. So blockchain in fintech, there are many use cases for blockchain in fintech. Mainly, like it's already happening. The domestic payment, it's already happening by using Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then Cardano. By using Cardano, you can people can pay for the hotels in some of the hotels in Japan. They can visit a restaurant with our Euro wallet, and then they can pay with ADA. So I will speak about our fintech initiative later. So in investment banking also, it's already useful. Like the STO, like say sales and trading. Then the many exchanges already there, like the cryptocurrency exchanges, then the custody services, stock exchanges, and then the foreign forex also is happening in a blockchain. So next is there are a set of new terminologies or as new set of business started after the blockchain. So that is DeFi, decentralized finance. So this decentralized finance is also like the ICO, STO, stable coins, identity management in a blockchain, microfinance. So these things are the new kind of business which blockchain give a birth to. So there are many other business coming across in this line. So I will speak about the DeFi. DeFi, what is DeFi? DeFi is nothing but a decentralized finance. So whatever the financial business runs under the blockchain, runs on the blockchain, it can be called as decentralized finance. So mainly like the stocks, hedging, borrowing, lending, transferring, or collateralizing, insurance. So all this comes under DeFi. I mean, if it is all in blockchain. Then financial institutions on decentralized network. These are all can be called as DeFi. Next one is the stable coin. The stable coin, there are three types of stable coin. There, in many countries, the stable coins is getting it's trying to drive a new kind of currency trend. So because the countries can easily create, any government can easily create the coins, stable coins, for their economy. So these stable coins, there are three types of stable coin. One is the pegged, which is nothing but USDT, or else which within the currencies which are pegged for the state-owned currencies like USD, yen, rupee. So these things. Then the collateralized stable coins are will be somebody, the company or the person has to collateralize their currency and then receive the tokens for that. So that is collateralized. And the non-collateralized is nothing but the price of the coin will stays stable through algorithm. So the algorithm written inside the blockchain will take care of the stability here in a non-collateralized stable coin. So next is the permissionless financial services. So these also in DeFi. Then what are the trustless transactions which happens in a blockchain? It can be called as DeFi transactions as well. So if you want to know more about the decentralized finance projects, then you can go through this link called DeFi market cap. So here you can find many DeFi projects. So next I will speak about, these are the two initiatives from EMURGO. One is the Euro wallet. This is where many coins can be used. Many transactions happens in a Cardano blockchain. So we can use this Euro wallet to send and receive ADA. So this Euro wallet is now used in some of the restaurants and then the hotels in Japan, hotel chains, to book a hotel or pay for the hotel. In a restaurant chain also you can pay for the things they had. Then we will be happy to integrate this solution or is the wallet to any other cryptocurrency as well. So you can contact us. So next is the Caesar. Caesar is a Cardano blockchain explorer. These where we can see what are the transactions happening in a Cardano blockchain. So we can also use this says of our other blockchain. So I mean it's a demand based. So if any company or anybody want to integrate this blockchain explorer into different other blockchains, then they can contact us, and then we can also modify this for the needs. So next is we'll speak about the business case in a supply chain. So blockchain supply chain. So why do we need a blockchain supply chain? Because whatever the transaction happen, it will be time stamped and it will be stored in a blockchain. So what are the these are the possibilities with the supply chain if we integrate the blockchain. What it does is it will create the transparency of among the companies. Then it also secures the data, whichever we any company sharing with others. So it will be a very secure transaction as well. And then the payment will be very instant. Like what are the goods received from the other company, they can do the payment instantly. The other company don't have to wait for a month for the payment. Then we also believe if we integrate IoT in with a blockchain, it will be more effective, and then we can easily track the goods going from one place to another place by using this IoT sensors, and then this IoT data can be also stored in a blockchain as well. Then with huge data whichever it's captured in a blockchain, we can create auditing and then traceability of these products. We can also use the AI for predictive analysis for this product. So one scenario I want to mention here, like it happened in US for the broccolis. There was an issue in Walmart and then many other stores. The people, the customers who bought the broccolis or as a peanut butter, they had they all come across some problem with the health issues. These health issues are because the pesticides used in this broccolis or and the peanut butter. So to trace back the person who produced this product, it's very tough for a company or as they need any store managed, because they don't keep the data, and then this data is siloed among the companies, and then they don't know which of the batches contains this problem. So to trace back, they could trace back, but it took around 2 weeks for them. But now they started implementing the blockchain. They started using the blockchain into their system. Now they can able to trace back within 5 to 10 minutes of time. So which are the products it's there in the store, they can easily find, okay, who are the producer, what are the things they have used. So the whole data will be captured in a blockchain. It's transparent among the players as well. So these were the simple story about a supply chain without a blockchain. So what usually happens is the farmer grows any grains, or else if he collects the honey, then it will be supplied through middleman. Then the middleman will take it to the processing producer or as a processor. Then after the processor, it always goes through the transportation. They will use the transportation, or else they wanna they can also ship to the stores or as the warehouse. So then it will be carried in a container or as the transportation ways. But when it reaches the other country, then the regulator will go through the product, and then if it is already approved, then there is no problem. If it is a new product, then it's a very big process for the regulator to go through all the ingredients, and then when it has been produced, who produced it, so all this detail. So sometimes this process will take longer than expected, as well as this process will cost more than the product itself. So once the regulator approves the product uh, to be used by consumer, then the logistics will take care of the delivery, and then the delivery happens to the customer. The customer will always have the question sometimes, like for example, we are the customers when we buy some product, for example the honey or the cosmetics. We always think about we go through the ingredients of the batch and then the expiry date, these things. But there is a case, like, I mean, these products can be counterfeited as well. So why the counterfeiting happens? Because the data among any of these players, like producer, warehouse management, transportation, logistic, or as the import warehouse, shipping companies, all this data are siloed among these companies only. So the data is not shared properly among the companies. So these products can be easily counterfeited. So the consumer will have the questions always. So we'll see what happens if we integrate blockchain into this supply chain. If we integrate the blockchain, then some set of data can be stored in a blockchain in all the steps. Then the consumer or as the regulators also can see the data, and then they can take the decision very quickly, and then it takes only minutes to approve any of the product which are shipped from other countries, because I mean that data is there, and then it's a transparency also. So the imported warehouse also can send an instant payment transaction. So without blockchain, it takes 1 month, but with the blockchain, it takes only 1 minute. As soon as they receive the product in a very good condition, the transaction can be sent very easily. Then all this data will be captured in blockchain. Then the customer can easily check the history of the product, and then it increases the brand value as well here, because I mean the brands are trying to be transparent. Yeah, so the customer will rely on the brands, and then they try to be loyal for the brands what they're buying as well. So next we'll talk about these are the two initiatives I want to talk. So one is the EMURGO traceability solution. That is we did a partnership with Blue Orange Coffee in Indonesia, and then we created this beautiful application to trace back the coffee producer. So anybody buys the coffee in a Blue Currency Coffee cafe, they can easily scan the QR code, and then they can see, okay, what was the coffee they are drinking, what was the pH, and then many other different varieties of coffees are there. So they can also see, okay, what coffee they are drinking, what is the quantity of the caffeine in that, and then it will trace back to the farmer who grown this coffee as well. So next is the New Balance Real Chain. So New Balance has used Cardano blockchain to trace back their shoes. I mean, some set of shoes in a blockchain. The application is called as Real Chain. So you can find these two initiatives in internet, and then you can always Google it. So this Blue Currency Coffee, we can also implement the same thing. Same set of application in many other food and beverage industries as well. So if you want to know more about this, then you can always contact us through LinkedIn, or else you can write me a mail. You can find my email in last presentation. So next is the blockchain in gaming. So where do we use blockchain in gaming? So mainly now there is a trend of tokenizing the IP. So many gaming industries or gaming companies are thinking about this, and then we can also tokenize the game development as well, or else the characters which are in the game can be digitized as well. So the player who are playing the game, the character they are using, it can be digitized, and then they can own the character of within the game. So, and then we can also tokenize the asset, like sword, game, the guns, or else any other gold inside the game, and then it can be easily transferred to the people as well. And then the player profile, if we create a player profile in a wallet, then it's very easy for the player to use the same wallet to join on any other game, and then it also creates the reputation for the player as well. So I'll just go through the simple story of game. Yeah, game item sales. I mean, currently what's happening is just imagine the player A plays a game, and then he acquires some digital assets like the character or sword. Then if he want to sell his items, then he will always go through the third-party shop, where he has to register the item and then give a description. Then this third-party shop will go through the player A reputation, and then they will list the item. So that then if the player B wants the same item to complete his game, then he will go through this third-party website, and then he will bid for the item. Then the bidding data will be shared with the player A, and then player A has to send the digital item to player B. But I mean, there's a huge question here. Like, the player A may cheat by not sending the digital item, and then still it will be questionable for the item shops, the third party e-commerce. So then the player B also can may not send the transaction, like the agreed amount, to the player A. So it's a conflict in a business. So if we integrate the blockchain into this system, so what happens? The player A can create a token for the assets, whatever he acquired, and then it will be registered in a smart contract, and then it will be listed in item shop. So once it is listed, then the player B can go through the item, and then he will use the same smart contract, and then he can bid. Once he bids, when the agreed amount is there, and then he has to collateralize the amount, the cryptocurrency, in a smart contract, then the smart contract will automatically transfer the NFT token, which is part of this digital item. Then the player A also will receive the item without any third party interfering. So here it saves a lot of time among the transaction, as well as it's very fast as well. So next is the blockchain in real estate. So how blockchain improves? It improves the blockchain improves the real estate. How it improves, like in a sale, people can easily go through the data which is stored in a blockchain among the real estate what they want to buy. And then we can also save the pre-lease data, the ownership, and the ownership tree of the property. So that is like pre-lease due diligence, and then it's very easily leased in a blockchain, and then we can do that asset tokenization in a blockchain to send it to the person who want to buy this property. So this will create the smarter decision making capabilities, as well as transparent and then cheaper property title management, and efficient processing and then financing of payment as well. So with the blockchain, these are the main use. These are the main features which enhances the real estate. So we'll see the small scenario, I mean, how it is happening in current scenario. Just imagine a family who are living in a small house, and then they want to move, they want to buy a new house. So they will they always will go through the agent, and then agent will aggregate the data from many different assets as well as the bank, and then he will share the data with the person, the family. The family will always has to rely on the agent, and then they have to trust the agent. In many developing countries, what's happening is like there was a scenario where the agents may forge this document, and then they share it with the family, and then they bought the house, but I mean, which is forged, and which doesn't belongs to them as well. So it creates a lot of problem in a developing countries. So now many developing countries are thinking about implementing a blockchain here, because I mean, it reduces a lot of paperwork, as well as it will also creates the trust among the transaction, and then the third party intervention will be very little here. So we'll see what are the next what happens if we integrate blockchain into real estate. So usually what happens, the if we integrate blockchain into the real estate, the whatever the data the owner has, the house owner has, will save the data in a blockchain. I mean, it's not every data, but I mean part of a data, like a title lead, ownership, the previous owner. So those details he can they can share with the agent. Then the agent can share it in save it in a blockchain, and then the blockchain, the banks can easily go through this detail. Whenever any family approaches the bank, hey, I want to buy some property, and then this is the property detail. Then the banks can easily go through this property detail, which is stored in a blockchain, and they can allocate the loan also for the family. So the transaction will also take very less time, as well as the transfer of the property will take less than a day, because it all happens in a digital way. And then the ownership of the property can be easily transferred to the wallet, to one wallet to another wallet. So in a minute. So next I'll speak about blockchain use case in agriculture or aid distribution. So currently, aid distribution is taking a new step in most of the countries, because of the coronavirus. So these were like, I mean, if we integrate the blockchain into aid distribution, then it's very easy for tracking. So we can also create the digital identity for farmers. Digital property ownership we can store in a blockchain. Then we can do microfinancing. With the cryptocurrency, we can send fraction of cryptocurrency, like 1 yen, less than $1 we can send very easily, which cannot be done in a bank, because I mean, every transaction in a bank will also have some I mean, every bank has a minimum transaction amount. So if you want to send $1, then bank may say no. So that is a scenario. But I mean, with the blockchain, the micro transaction can happen. Then we can also track the logistic, what I speak about in supply chain. So we can, if we can integrate the blockchain there. Then trace backing the supply chain as well. Then the payment for each for any products they have grown, or as for any shipment, it will be very easy. So we'll see the scenario here. What's happening in current agriculture or the aid distribution scenario. Just imagine a farmer who is looking for a loan, or for some monetary support. He always go through the leader or as the middleman. Then the middleman will take his approval, and he has to approve the farmer's plea, and then he has to approach the bank, and then the government will distribute the aid for the farmer. But whatever the bank receives the money, it will be again transferred to the middleman or the leader. So this scenario is happening in many underdeveloped countries and then developing countries as well. if you think about the aid distribution in the developed countries, also the aid distribution happens through the bank. The bank, I mean, those who have the bank account, they can only receive the aid. So those who don't have the bank account, then it's very difficult. So how do we create the bank account? It takes minimum 1 or 2 days for anybody to create, but the person can have a wallet in their mobile, so it takes less than a minute. So we can also do the identity verification through mobile wallet, like the KYC AML, by using the mobile wallet. So once it is done, then the farmer or the person can easily have their account, the mobile account, and then they can also receive the monetary support very easily. So usually what happens what's happening in current aid distribution scenarios, like when the person receives the farmer receives the aid, he may misuse the aid, because the money, it's very liquid. He can spend that money in various ways. He can spend it for good purpose, like, I mean, growing his crop, or else he can also spend it for like, I mean, drinking, or some the alcohol consumption, or else any other illegal activities also. So this might be the bad scenario. And then the government also cannot trace back, okay, where he spend, and then they cannot also control the person spending as well, because the money is liquid. So if we integrate blockchain into this aid distribution, what happens? Government can easily create, I mean, now many governments are thinking about this stable coin. So now the government can create the stable coins, and then they can easily send it to the farmer, or as a person who are in a need. Then this stable coins can be controlled in a distribution, the centers where farmer has to buy the crop, the seeds or fertilizers. So government can easily identify where this the transaction is happening, and then who is doing this transaction, and then it will create the audit trail of the each transaction, whatever the farmer is doing by using the stable currency. So it's very easy for government to manage the transactions of a farmer or the person who receive these stable currencies. And then if there is any drop situation also, government can easily identify, and then they can easily send the transactions, or as the monetary support to the farmer, the affected farmers. So, and then the tax collection will be also very easy. Whatever the transaction happens with the stable coin, it can automatically deduct some amount on the point. So these are the major blockchain use cases currently we have. And yeah, if you want to listen to us, if you want to contact us, then you can always contact me through this email. Yeah, and then yeah, you can also receive the newsletter from our EMURGO marketing team. So you can just go through this QR code, scan this QR code, and then register yourself. You can also receive the newsletter and then daily update about the blockchain. And then yeah, EMURGO, what do we do at EMURGO as well? So yeah, thank you all for listening.